Be going live now. Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart. I am joined by Brandon from What About Nintendo. We also may be getting another guest later into the podcast. Nerdy Cabana may be joining us. But tonight we're going to be talking about how Nintendo is sort of taking care of the Joy-Con drift controversy. We'll be getting to that in a little bit, and then we'll be talking about how there's going to be some sort of event tomorrow, very early, showcasing Super Smash Bros. Stuff, mostly the hero, and he's probably coming out this week, so we're going to be talking about that. And then we'll be getting a little bit more into Astral Chain, because we're getting a little bit more news on that, seeing more media for that. That game is also coming out really soon. And then we'll be going into our early impressions for Fire Emblem Three Houses. My impressions are earlier than most people. I only picked up the game today after work. I came back from a trip. Brandon, you've played more of it. The other person that's coming in also has played more of it, so you guys will share more of your deeper thoughts. I'll probably be asking more questions than anything else, but still, I started at the beginning and I was enthralled, so we will be getting into that. But how you doing?
I'm doing well. Just been on the usual grind. It's been good.
Very good. I'm glad you've been on the grind. I just need to do one more quick little thing before we really jump to the swing of things here, guys. But, you know, this is a podcast of sorts, so we may be heard on other platforms, not just YouTube, but that's where we start. That's where we stream. If you're listening to the audio version, we're on YouTube. Check us out. The links will be in some sort of description. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to be handling that yet, but it's going to be handled. So I'm just pointing that out, and just sending this message real quick. The invite to the other person, Ray Cabana, whenever he's ready. But the chat's open already. Okay. So there we go. I see. So we got 764 in the comments. Joshua, Mastermind, Robier, how you guys doing? Mastermind saying he rarely uses his Joy-Con. He plays Smash with a GameCube controller. Well, with a GameCube controller, you shouldn't have any Joy-Con drift issues. So that's good on you. But for any other game, you may need to use your Joy-Cons or a Pro controller. I mean, at least if you're going to play portably, you kind of want to have the Joy-Cons working, right? And a lot of people have been running into that issue. And apparently, there was Nintendo's like, there are charges being pressed against Nintendo about this. This is going to have some legal ramifications. But apparently, according to Vice, they received an internal memo anonymously from someone at Nintendo that they basically, anyone who calls Nintendo, and they bring up any sort of issue related to a Joy-Con in terms of drifting, regardless of warranty, regardless of how long they've had it, regardless of what they've done with the controller, Nintendo will fix it for free. Which is big news because, I mean, if you're like me or Brandon, or if you've had the system for a while, there's a decent chance you have had some drifting issues and you've had the system for longer than a year, meaning you're past the warranty, meaning you can't get it fixed for free, which is kind of a big part of the problem because if you're not doing anything unordinary, like out of the ordinary with your controller, and it's not really working properly after a year, that's bad. Like, Mastermind, as you were saying, you use GameCube controllers, right? Like, there are GameCube controllers that still work just fine today, and they came out back in 2001. There are Super Nintendo controllers that still work fine, and they came out into 1991. Nintendo controllers usually hold up pretty well, but the Joy-Cons aren't. So that's kind of raising a big stink with a lot of people. So it looks like Nintendo is fixing it in most places, though I've also heard that in places like the United Kingdom, this sort of philosophy of just fixing it regardless of what sort of issue it is, regardless of what history it is, doesn't apply to every different region from Nintendo. So not everyone's going to be able to fix the Joy-Con for free, apparently. I have heard of people who've tried this out. It does seem to be the case. Nintendo hasn't made like an official announcement, but people are going in, calling in. We're seeing from different people that you can get it fixed for free in most places. So if your Joy-Con is broken or it's having drift issues, definitely call Nintendo, see what they can do. There's a good chance they'll fix it for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, last week we were talking about this and we were kind of wanting them to extend the warranty out a bit, but they're going about it a little bit differently, but I guess it's kind of the same concept here. You know, even if the warranty's out, they're gonna fix it for free, as they should, because as we've been saying, the controllers should last way longer than they have. So I might actually send my controllers in. I might call Nintendo and have them send in. I'm kind of wary of sending the ones with the decals on them, because I'm not sure they might scratch them or mess them up. I don't know if I can like remove those, put them somewhere. I don't know why, but I'm kind of worried that they're gonna like mess them up or they're gonna get messed up in shipping. But I'll probably
fix
send
them.
other ones.
You could fix them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that.
Yeah, I saw your video on it, so I could do it.
I kind of rushed it after the report because most people probably would fix it. But yeah, you can order like little analog sticks for like $10, right? You can get a whole kit with two for $15, and with the video, you know, I went in there really quick. If you needed like a more slow-mo version, you can just slow it down with the gear. But you can go in there and just kind of replace the analog stick, and it'll work fine. Mine's working perfectly.
Good.
I feel like I have a new Switch now. It's great.
I might do that. About it. I might do that for the ones with the decals and send the normal ones in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because I don't really feel like paying $80 for a new controller. Mm-hmm. That may or may not work.
Yeah. So apparently my least favorite character is going to be presented tomorrow, according to Computer Robots. He's just joking around. Or is he? Maybe I'm not excited about the hero tomorrow. Honestly, I think the hero is going to be more interesting to me than Joker. Yeah. Like, I think, before Joker was revealed, I didn't even know what was going to happen, right? So, when it was revealed, like, oh my god, there's a Smash character, cool, right? But, like, for the hero, there's a lot of talk and speculation about it for a while before we got it actually revealed, before we actually got to see it. And when we actually got to see it, I thought it looked pretty cool. And my only issue with the hero isn't the hero, just that I wanted Banjo. and we're getting Banjo, so I'm fine with that. That's completely fine with me. I'm good with that. I think that's a better fit for what the Smash community wants. Like, because there was a lot of discussion about like other characters coming, like Steve from Minecraft, for example. And I know there is a lot of people who want that. But when you think about like what the Smash community as a whole wants, I feel like Banjo was a much better fit. And I mean, well, you know, Nintendo chose Banjo, so you know, I think that thinking has aged well, right? But the rumors are suggesting something else. Like what the rumors are suggesting about the DLC pack was something that was kind of like basically a whole bunch of third-party characters that, yes, were very popular, but a lot of them weren't really popular amongst the Nintendo community necessarily, right? Compared to other characters that we could have gone, like Banjo, for example. So that's where I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure how excited I am about this, but I like how they're handling things. I actually really like the design for all four of the heroes, and I think it's really cool how they are like employing like those little RPG mechanics from the Dragon Quest games into its actual gameplay. That's what Sakura's been doing for a lot of these third-party characters, like actually creating new mechanics for the character. So that's really cool, and we are getting that Akira Toriyama design. Erdrick is there, so that's the closest thing we'll ever get to Goku, probably. So that's also pretty cool as well. So I'm excited about it, and tomorrow I expect to learn a fair bit. We have a dedicated topic for that soon. We'll get into that in a bit, but that's... Yeah, I don't hate it, is what I'm saying. I'm excited for the hero. It took me 3 minutes to say that, but yeah, I don't hate it.
He does, in fact, not hate it.
Facts.
I don't hate it either, although I'm not super excited for it either, I guess.
Well, maybe tomorrow you'll be more excited. Maybe. I think, but let's just kind of focus on the drifting thing, though. My dog really cares about it. You know, too much. He's making way too much noise. That's not a problem. See, I don't know. I need to like get like a better microphone or something, because that's a problem. But what do you like? Do you think this is just going to be the only thing the channel's going to do for the Joy-Cons? Like, just anyone who, you know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna shut him up. I'm gonna put a muzzle on him. That's not gonna.
I'll keep you guys entertained. till it gets back. But I think it's a good fix, guys. It's actually better than what I thought was going to happen, because we thought they were going to extend the warranty out till the 3rd year, which would only last until March. So I'm very curious when this is going to like end, if they're just going to keep this going indefinitely or whatnot. But so I'm very curious about that. The question I just brought up to the people, Andres, is how long will this sort of free fix be going on for? Because we were suggesting extending the warranty out to 3 years, which would end next March. But this has an indefinite or an unknown span of time as that they are doing this for. So I'm curious how long they're going to keep this up.
That's a great question. I would say, well, one, they need to make sure that the Joy-Cons that they're producing and manufacturing aren't still having that issue, right? So they may need to... If
the Switch Lite has this issue, that's going to be a big problem.
You can't even get new Joy-Cons for that. And I imagine fixing it will probably be harder. You know? Like, that'll probably be harder than fixing just the Joy-Cons, right?
I mean, I'd have to see how they design the Switch.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
given how easy it is to get into the normal Switch, I'd imagine it wouldn't be that much more difficult.
Well, yeah.
Because the Switch is like completely, like every piece comes out and you can replace it like super easy. It's not hard to get to anything inside the Switch. So I imagine that'd be the same with the Switch Lite. But we don't know that for sure, so that could be.
Yeah, maybe the Switch Lite would be a little easier to fix because it has less... Like, at least when it comes to, like, around the control sticks, like, there won't be any HD rumble, for example. There won't be any infrared camera. So there'll be maybe less parts around the actual controller part of the Switch Lite. So maybe it would be a little bit easier to get in there. Maybe. It really just depends on how they put it together, right? So, I think it's a good point. But either way, if they're using the exact same type of stick and they haven't changed it, that would be bad. Definitely.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and especially if the Switch Lite is more for it is being geared more for kids, which means it's gonna see more wear and tear, right? And I do think there is a correlation to wear and tear, and like just like people who put more strain on their controllers and this actual drift. Now I'm not saying for everyone who maybe there are some people who just did nothing and it just wore out, but I think. Like, for example, me, like, I feel like if I was someone who was a lot more casual, I wouldn't be running into this issue. But because I really pushed my controllers to the limit, they definitely started drifting.
Yeah.
Like, I think whatever the internals are, where it starts scraping and all the residue starts coming around and messing with how it scans where it's supposed to go.
Especially
because I move them around a lot.
The controllers are so small and the sticks move such little amounts compared to normal joysticks. When you're pushing them, I feel like I'm like pushing really hard against them because my fingers are like kind of cramped position. So when I'm pushing, it feels like it's like I have to be like harder on it for some reason. So I feel like you just kind of naturally push a little bit harder on these controllers, or it feels like they're pushing against the edges of it more often than like a normal control stick. You're not constantly shoving it against the edge of the, like, as far as it can go. Not always.
I mean...
At least not very hard.
I do agree that the ergonomics of the Joy-Cons is different from a Pro Controller. You have to hold it differently. It's angled differently. I never thought that would potentially cause the actual sticks to, wear it down more easily because of that.
It also might be because when you're holding, like, the whole Switch, part of the weight might be, like, on your... Because you're holding it like this, but also sometimes you could, like, shift the weight onto your thumbs while you're playing, if that makes any sense. Depending on how you're holding it.
I can kind of see what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I can't say with confidence that that's definitely why. I'm
not saying that's why. It's just like
I can see
part of the problem.
Maybe that could be the
small
case.
Part.
It'd be interesting if we could do a survey, right? Like survey people who have like special grips on their their Switches when they play in handheld mode, as opposed to those people who just play in handheld mode normally, and see that there's like more people that don't have drifting that have bought like a special like type of like handle grip for when they're playing in portable mode. Like, because if they did that, right, that would go more towards what you're saying, where these people added something to not make it add so much strain to the actual sticks when you're playing, because you're holding more like a normal controller with these special grips.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see that. I don't know if we'll ever get a survey like that, but you know, if we could, that'd be nice to see. Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that the Switch Lite is not going to have those issues. I think you gotta think that this Joy-Con drift thing has been going on for a while. I feel like Nintendo must have they must have been aware for a while that this was an issue. I just wonder if they decided to fix it at some point. I don't know. Like, my Joy-Cons are drifting, but I haven't bought new Joy-Cons. I don't know if those will drift, right? Like, maybe they've already been fixed. I bought
new Joy-Cons, but it was by the first holiday of the Switch. So
and do those drift?
On. Those do drift. But it was also, I bought those really early on, so I'm not sure exactly when they were purchased, but sometime before Christmas 2017.
So that's when I got them. Still in the first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they may have been fixed after that. Or it might have been part of the first stock, because they had a lot. Maybe.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna have to wait on a report to actually find out, right? I wonder if any of you guys in the chat, though, have had any of these issues. Let me know. I'm curious. I want more impressions on Joy-Con drift issues, so maybe we can get a better idea of what's going on here. But I think, you know, let's just kind of jump into the Smash stuff, because I think that's what everyone really wants to talk about, right? So, yeah, let's just jump into it. So, tomorrow, there will be a presentation for Smash Brothers, and they will be talking extensively about the hero. If I remember correctly, I think I saw like 22 minutes. Maybe I missed
that's what I saw. 22 minutes.
And I think I saw the time for 6 a.m. Pacific time, meaning 9 a.m. Eastern time, meaning 8 a.m. Central time for you?
Yes.
Which means we'd have to get up early. Very early. Maybe this podcast won't be very long.
I like... Where do they stream? Is it a stream or a video that's going live, or what's... I don't even...
It looks like it's already been recorded.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean they can't stream it. Right?
Alright, the directs are pre-recorded.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, we could double check the statement.
I feel like if it's going to be streamed at 8 a.m. tomorrow, there should have been like an official announcement, you know?
I just want to double check Nintendo's tweet on it. This is really... Okay, so... Join Super Smash Bros. I'll just... I'll bring it up here so everyone can see it. Join Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Director Masahiro Sakurai on July 30th at 6 a.m. Pacific Time in a video presentation featuring an in-depth look at upcoming DLC fighter, Hero from the Dragon Quest series. Alongside new details, he'll be revealing when the fighter will arrive. Be sure to tune in.
Oh, so there was an official tweet. I thought they took it down.
No. So this is what happened, actually, because I'm glad you brought that up. So there was apparently a tweet that said it was the Hero was coming out the 31st. I think I can pull up an actual screenshot of it. So, but they retweeted, they tweeted out something new and said they deleted that tweet, and then they just said, hey, you know, he's coming soon. But basically, it looks like they accidentally leaked when he's coming out, which would be a day afterwards. All right, so this is the screenshot that apparently Nintendo of Europe accidentally posted, and then they deleted shortly after. So this is the first part. This is normal, but then here they say replay, and you see it has a question mark, right? So this is either someone did a Photoshop job or this is real. I'm pretty sure it's real because no one's really denying it. Smash Bros. Ultimate replays created in versions before, you know, blah 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 3.1 are not compatible with 4.1, which releases July 31st. If you have replay, so they basically said the new update is coming on the 31st, and that would suggest that, you know, that the Hero's coming out then. But I mean, it's not even something to debate, really. I don't really think it's hard to believe, is what I'm trying to say, because we were already sort of thinking that it was coming out at this month, right? Like we had that other Nintendo YouTube video that came out showcasing summer games, but at first it was saying July games, and it featured the Hero DLC, and then they changed the title to just summer games. But we just recently got another summer trailer showing off August games, and they were very sure to make sure that just said summer this time around, but the damage is already done, right? Like they showed one showcasing July games, even though they changed it, and they included the Hero. The 31st is the last possible day. That's a day after when they have the whole showcase for the Hero. It makes sense for it to come out on the 31st. And in terms of timing, like you said, Brandon, like every 2.5 months seems to be the right timing for each character to come out.
And they usually just drop the character very soon after they announce the date. So it'd be weird if they announced it tomorrow and it was like a week or more, because all the other ones were just like, it's out now. So this would actually be like the longest in between announcement of the release date and the actual release date.
Right, so like for the Joker, like you said, they had a whole like video presentation that they showed off. It wasn't a direct; they just dropped it without even announcing it. Actually, they're announcing it this time, and then Joker just came out shortly after, right? So there we go. And I thought the podcast dojo was here, but it looks like he jumped out. But I guess he'll jump back in later. He's probably figuring stuff out. But we agree. This is really, really soon. But do you have any sort of expectations for tomorrow? What do you expect to see?
Obviously, if it's gonna be 22 minutes, they're not just gonna talk about the Hero. It's gonna be other things.
They're gonna show off every move, every skin, every frame.
There you go. I just feel like the other characters. I feel like Joker is the one they showed off more than Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant, they were just like, here it is. And then we kind of had to figure him out on our own. Joker had a little bit. I don't think his wasn't that long, though. His trailer was like 7 minutes or something. Not that long. This is 22 minutes. Like, I feel like they're definitely going to show other stuff. Maybe some new modes or something. Who knows? I'm curious if they're going to talk anything about Banjo. I kind of doubt it. I don't think they'll talk about him yet.
Yeah, no. If the Joker presentation is anything to go off of, we are not going to get any Banjo mentions, but what I'm really interested to see, though, are the Mii costumes, because depending on what we see for the Mii costumes, that could further validate the whole Mii costume theory. So I'll just go over that for the 7 billionth time. So the Mii costume theory, basically, we had a certain amount of third-party Mii costumes on Smash for Wii U, right? A lot of those third-party Mii costumes are gone in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But with the Joker, which Sega has a hand in publishing, right? We got Sega Mii costumes. A lot of those, not just new ones, like old ones came back from the Smash for Wii U, so we got those. But we're missing Square Mii costumes, Capcom Mii costumes, and Bandai Namco Mii costumes. So if we get some of the old Mii costumes that were missing from Square, it suggests that we may be getting another pack from Capcom and another pack from Bandai Namco. So, which would further validate my hope that maybe Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4 is going to be another one of the fighters in the Fighters Pass. Maybe. And even if we do see the Mii costume, it doesn't mean for sure it's going to be a Capcom rep, right? But I think it strengthens that likelihood a little bit more. And even if it's a Capcom rep, that doesn't mean it's going to be Leon. Like, there's other options, you know? But just putting it out there. Hey, Ray, you there? No? Not quite? I guess not. Not
He's
yet.
figuring something out. He keeps calling
definitely figuring something out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so, that's what I'm sort of looking forward to seeing tomorrow in terms of what we could expect for the future. I think the Mii costumes will be suggestive if there is any sort of trend with the Mii costumes and what it could just suggest for other packs in the future. Besides that, I don't know if there's going to be anything else that could really give us any leads, but you never know. There's going to be a lot. And actually, when we saw the stage editor, right, which came with the Joker pack, trailer, correct? The 16-minute Joker one. We saw the stage editor, correct? The stage builder?
I think so.
Pretty sure that's when we saw the stage builder. And when we did, there was that one scene that showed a green witch and a pot and a cauldron, and many people were quick to point out that, hey, that almost looks like Gruntilda. Now, granted, Gruntilda is just kind of like just a green witch, right? That's kind of a motif for a lot of different like fairy tales, but it was an interesting little thing. I do think that it was a nod, so there may be another little small tease for another character in the future. So, maybe there is going to be more than just that Mikasa if they give us any leads for the future, but we may not know. Like, that Gruntilda thing, that witch thing, it was very subtle. So, we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled, but also be careful not to overanalyze, because, people are saying Rayman everywhere. Everywhere. And I want that to happen, but I also don't feel super, super confident about it either. Not for this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what they're gonna fill up this 22-minute time slot with, because me costumes and the hero.
I figured it out. And by the way, guys, Fire Emblem is awesome. We're gonna be talking about that later, because I know you guys are talking about in the chat. Edelgard is gonna be announced tomorrow.
God, please.
That's not gonna. Yeah.
My God, finally. Okay.
Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Third time's the charm.
Oh my God. I was trying to figure out, because I was trying, every time I tried to connect to the call, for some reason I couldn't hear you guys, so I had to play a little bit with the sound to see what the hell is going on. But I can hear you guys perfect now, so.
Cool.
Good.
How you guys doing?
Better than you?
Better than me? I don't know, man.
I don't even know why I said that, to be honest. It just came out of my mouth. Yeah. It probably isn't true, but I have no idea.
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good. So that must mean we're doing even greater. I guess we're all in good shape then.
Yeah.
Guys, the podcast dojo, he's been here a few times before. He has another channel, Nerdy Cabana. I don't know if you care, Ray, but I put the Nerdy Cabana in the description below because I know you're working on a video. You've been telling me about it for a while, so I figured I'd just point people towards that channel in case people want to check that out. So the link to that channel, brands are in the description.
Yeah, because as you said, I'm going to be making a new content for Nerdy Cabana. The problem is well, I think I told you this, but the video I was working on, like, I lost it. I lost the video. So I started doing everything again. And because I really want to put like a lot of quality to the video, my videos, just take a longer time. So, it's taking my time with it. But
that's fine. When it comes out, it's gonna be great.
I hope so. I hope it's great in the eye of the beholder, right? People have different opinions, so hopefully.
I think one thing you should do is that, because right now you're obviously not worried about time at all. Like you shouldn't have a deadline for this, right? Because it's already been a while since you've been uploading regularly on the channel, right? So like when you do put it out there, like just watch it over multiple times. Have someone else watch it for you in private. Make sure there's no mistakes. Like, just don't be like, oh my god, it's ready. Let me just put it out there. Sit on it for maybe a day. Just make sure it's good, because I cannot tell you how many times. Because I hold myself to like a deadline, because I'm just trying to come up with as many videos as I can, and sometimes I work my ass off on something, and then I screw it up. Like I have some stupid typo or some bullshit, and it's really bad, and I'm just really upset about it. Like there was one video where I was using some sort of like editing trick to kind of minimize background noise, but I had an update on Adobe, so it wanted me to do it in a different way. So I did it in the different way. And as a result, what happened was every time I had an edit or a cut, like when I listened to it in actual Adobe, it worked fine. But when I exported it, so I listened to my videos before I upload them, always. But I listened to it before I exported the file. So the file was exported afterwards. And apparently, I should have listened to that version, because apparently every time I did a cut, like it would like decrease the audio of everything and then rise up, decrease, rise up. So I was talking like this, blah 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 blah, and the video was out for hours before I even know it. So I was like, okay, this is done, whatever.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Take your time.
There's been instant. I mean, trust me. When it comes to like the main channel, the podcast dojo, I made so many mistakes at the beginning, It's just like I really like to not just double check but triple check, you know, before I try to like release a video. It's just, you know, I feel like when it comes to YouTube, you know, the type of channels that you guys have, you got to follow like a certain algorithm in order for you guys to stay up there. But when it comes to like what I want to do, I don't want to do it for the same reasons that you guys are doing it. I just want to do it as, you know, it's fun. It's fun to me. And, you know, the type of content I want to make is just content that I feel like, you know, it'll teach people something is what I want to do. So hopefully people like it. So
you're doing it for the glory.
Yes.
For the glory. But let's get back up to speed. We did cover the Joy-Con drift issue, how Nintendo's fixing it. How do you feel about that? Just give us your quick thoughts on it. Because you know Nintendo didn't announce anything, but we've heard that from Vice that internally Nintendo has made note to all of its employees that whenever they get a call from someone with a broken Joy-Con, to have it fixed for free. What do you think?
Well, there's a couple of people on that actually follow me, and I follow them back, that have said that they call Nintendo and they got that response where they can just send the Joy-Cons to Nintendo and they can, you know, fix them for free. It doesn't matter the type of guarantee that you have on them. I think it's great. For somebody like me, I don't know. I just don't have time for anything, dude. I barely have time to like to just like sit down and work on what I want to work. Like I feel that video that you made, you know, explaining people how to fix it themselves, I think is very useful. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I got tomorrow off, so maybe I should take advantage of that and do it tomorrow. But you know, it's a good thing, because I'll tell you something. As I just mentioned, one of my Joy-Cons, actually my red Joy-Con, I got the blue neon and red neon Nintendo Switch. My red one just stopped working. It just doesn't work anymore.
Not just a stick, like just a whole thing.
It's the stick.
Okay.
Because I can press the buttons and they do work, but the stick it just doesn't work. Like if I played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I can't change the camera.
Oh.
You know, that's how at first
you need a new stick.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But at first, I remember that every time I used to play Breath of the Wild, the camera used to move by itself.
So at first it was drifting.
It was drifting. So maybe you are right. Maybe the problem just got much worse, and now I just need a new stick.
That may be. That is a little weird. Hopefully it is just a stick, so it'll be kind of a more of a simple fix. I did put a video on it, so like, you know, you have in the link, it has like a link to it, like the actual parts on Amazon with the kit that you'll need for it. So hopefully that will work for you. It isn't that hard to replace. The only hard thing I would say is if you're not used to like opening up like stuff like that, like doing the little clips where you take out the little electrical strips, like just be careful. There's a little clip that you have to unfasten, then pull it out carefully, and when you put it back in, you have to put it in and then fasten it back. But besides that, it's pretty easy. Just keep track of the screws. Don't lose the screws, right? And definitely use the right screwdrivers. You don't want to strip the screws, right? So definitely use an actual tri-wing for the tri-wing and a Phillips for the Phillips. And
I got other Joy-Cons. I wanna put that out there for the record. I got like 4 pairs of Joy-Cons. Okay.
Oh wow.
So I got a couple. But I want my red neon Joy-Con back. That's one. And second thing is, I hear that I've heard from multiple people that own, different pair of Joy-Cons, and at the end of the day, they start drifting at some point of their lifetime. It doesn't happen to everybody, but I've heard of a guy that bought like at least 3 pairs of Joy-Cons, and all of them drifted. So I don't, if I don't have to like overuse the new ones that I have, you know, and I can fix my old ones, like I would appreciate that, you know. But yeah, it's a crappy situation. But you know, I appreciate the fact that Nintendo, you know, it's trying to do something about it.
Yeah, I hope we get some sort of news that they've actually fixed the issue, so they're not manufacturing like Joy-Cons that are eventually going to break now. Like hopefully they start sending out good ones. But I guess only time will really tell. So let's check in with the chat real quick, and then let's get back to the Smash topic.
If you don't mind, I would like to ask Brandon a question.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't answer questions. Only from me.
So my question is, I heard that you guys were talking about prior to me, you know, logging in and all that. I heard that you guys were talking about the Nintendo Switch Mini, and perhaps, you know,
it's Switch Lite.
Yeah, Switch Lite.
Sinner.
I mean, we've been saying it for so long, man.
I feel you. I've said it in some of my videos.
Yeah, the Switch Lite. And you guys were talking about how it would be awful for the Switch Lite, but my question is, how would this be different? Like, for example, how would this be so different when you compare it to something like, I don't know, like an older system? Like you remember we had the Game Boy Advance, you know, or a PS Vita. How would this Nintendo Switch Lite would be so different that, you know, we could have Joy-Con drift, because it doesn't have Joy-Cons?
It has the same sticks, though. It looks like, yeah, it looks like it's using the same sticks.
Yeah, so the joystick should be the exact same as the ones in the Joy-Con, even though they're not technically Joy-Con because they're attached.
One thing going for the Lite is that the sticks are white. So there's some sort of different manufacturing process for those, right? So maybe that's not they figured it out already, and they just created a new type of stick for the Lite. But in terms of like how it looks structured and shaped, it looks like the exact same type of stick.
Right. It looks like the same stick, but they made white rubber.
So is this not like, is this? I'm just trying to like understand, you know. Is this not a problem that the Joy-Con causes? Is this more like a joystick problem?
It's the problem with the joysticks that are in the Joy-Con, not any other parts of the Joy-Con.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a broken. I have a broken stick right here, actually. Now, I mean, you can't really tell it's broken, but I'll just kind of pull out the part. Right. So you take this out of the Joy-Con, right? That little piece right there, and from what we understand, basically, right, there's a lot of gathering of dust. And people think it's just dust that gets in here, but from what we're hearing, it's actually just that's like inside the metal. That's like actually like starting to collect, because there's like a black film that is getting scraped. And the thing is, like, it's supposed to read, like, that's kind of like where it reads your movement, but there's like residue like coming off of the black film that's used to read the movement. So eventually there's like scratches on the film, and there's residue, and that kind of, it makes it really hard to read the actual position of where you're supposed to be. So it's this part that seems to be defective, not the Joy-Con, not everything else, just this part.
Gotcha.
From what we understand.
Gotcha. Okay. I just had to ask, man, because like I said, I don't go out there and start saying that I'm a tech guy or anything, or start talking without knowing anything. So I had to make sure.
Yep.
But yeah. Okay, we can proceed. We can go to the comment section now.
Carry on, no. Silence Joe added me. Do you think there's any chance the next DLC will be announced tomorrow? Yeah. We covered a little bit before Ray came in, but yeah, we don't think it's tomorrow. What we talked about is like maybe some hints, right? Maybe we see those Mii costumes that can maybe tell us if the Mii costume theory is legitimate, right? Maybe we do see like a subtle hint, like kind of like what I talked about earlier. When we got the Sage Builder, we saw the Green Witch, which looked like Gruntilda, and Gruntilda from Banjo. That happened, so maybe that was a tease. So maybe there'll be like a tease, like a subtle hint that won't be obvious, right? Things like that. So pay attention for clues, sure, but don't expect an actual announcement. They didn't do it with the Joker presentation. I don't expect it now either.
Right, especially since Banjo isn't even out, so they still have another character they've already revealed that's coming. Then they need to reveal another one.
Yeah, I think they're basically just going to focus on everything that they're gonna like everything that's coming with this update. Like it's all about the update that supposedly is coming out on Wednesday.
Right.
Let's continue on the chat. We'll get back to. I know we like broke the Smash topic in two, but we'll get back into it in a moment. I mean, we're kind of answering questions about it, so we're still there. Computer robots added me, guys. Even though you're not going to like this, I want a World of Light Part 2. I haven't even finished World of Light Part 1.
Yeah, I didn't even care to finish that.
Yes, I know the blasphemy is real. I don't actually think it was that great of a mode. Like, it was good, like, it's entertaining, but I guess I want a little bit more, something. Like, maybe if there's more, like, Smash Run sort of elements thrown in there, I maybe would be a little bit more interested in it. The whole 2D map was okay, it wasn't great. I do like the spirit fights. I guess I just wish there was a little bit more variety to it, because it kind of, for me, it got a little monotonous after a while.
Be honest with you, I haven't even touched that mode, and I played almost over 100 hours of Super Smash Brothers. I never touched that mode. I don't care.
Yeah, I played through not even halfway, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was grinding. It didn't feel like I was playing a game. It felt like I was grinding.
It felt very grindy. Like, I was like, okay, next fight. Okay, next fight. But it wasn't like, oh my god, this is an interesting challenge. Let me try to figure it out. Like, it was just kind of like, once you level up your spirits, right, so you can just kind of power through things, it feels less like an event challenge, right, and more like just, okay, I'm just going through this. Like, I liked event mode for previous Smash Bros. Games because there's like a challenge you had to kind of figure out, like there is a certain goal, and that's sort of there with spirits, but not entirely. So I kind of wish they made it more like an extensive event mode. And I think if there, for the record, I'm not saying there can't be a part 2 or like an expansion to the single player story. Maybe they might do that. But if they do, I hope that they change it up a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe make it feel more like event matches rather than just spirit battles. Make it feel less grinding, less redundant. I think there's some small things they could do. Maybe also some big things they could do to really mix it up. But I'm not against it. I'm just saying that I don't think World of Light is the best part of Smash. I was hoping it would be, but it wasn't.
I wanted like an overworld where I could run around, like 2D overworld where I could run around and do levels like that. Like, I wanted it to be different than just fight after fight after fight.
Well,
I want it to be like...
So, I guess I'm confused, like, how would that be different than the 2D overworld we got in World of Light?
No, I'm talking... I'm talking like a stage, like a side-scrolling stage.
Oh, okay, like kind of like South Space Emissary?
Yeah, but not as, bad. Not as big as that, but I was hoping for something...
Like Smash Run, maybe.
That. Yeah, like Smash Run would have been fine. I just wanted not just the same stages. I wanted something more different than just battles with a small twist.
Okay.
It felt just too much more like I'm doing computer battles with slight changes. I felt like I was doing a special battle.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Wasn't unique enough.
Yeah. I'm not against that. I'm not. But let's go on to the next question. So, Terry Siverson has added me, said, what Mii costumes do you guys think will be released alongside Hero? That's a good question. Well, assuming we should be getting back the Square. I'm assuming all these Square Mii costumes that we had for Wii U, and I don't remember all of them, but I believe there's like a Chocobo one and a Geno one, right? I don't know if you guys remember any others from Smash for Wii U, but definitely those. It's gonna be interesting. Like if there is no Geno Mii costume, I'm gonna be really curious. I'm gonna find that really curious, right? Like if there is no Geno Mii costume, I'm gonna wonder like, no Geno Mii costume. I wonder, could they maybe be working on a Geno character?
Right.
Or it could just mean that they hate Geno so much that he doesn't even deserve a Mii costume anymore. So we'll see. But I'm definitely expecting at least that. I'm not a big Dragon Quest fan. I'm not saying I don't like the hero. I actually plan on getting Dragon Quest XI's. I'm just saying that I don't have I don't know too much about the history of Dragon Quest, so I can't like say a particular. Oh, this character will be a Mii costume. This character will be a Mii costume. But I expect there'll be some Dragon Quest Mii costumes. Probably the slime. There'll probably be some sort of slime Mii costume. I can see that. At least like a helmet, hat sort of thing.
Right.
You know, I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but one of my buddies, Dean, he was actually on the chat, and he asked a question because we've seen a couple of people saying that the 3 to 4 months, you know, that between like characters, Super Smash Brothers characters, we're having like 3 to 4 months in between them, their release. He's saying if you guys think that's a reasonable amount of time, because he saw some people on Twitter just saying that that's just unreasonable. Like that's not that's not a reasonable amount of time to wait for a customer. We should get them sooner. What do you guys think?
Well, what we know, what we've been told, right, is that the Fighters Pass should be over by, I'm looking at my calendar right now, February 2020. So, personally, I've just been thinking the last character is going to come out February 2020, right? And then maybe the second to last one comes out December, and then Banjo comes out like sometime early October. And we're getting the Hero Demo. So like either late September or early October for Banjo, and maybe the fourth DLC character comes out like for the Game Awards December 7th, and then the last one comes out maybe early February.
I feel like it's a fair enough amount of time. I feel like with the amount of characters that are in Smash and the amount of balancing you need to do to make sure characters aren't too overpowered against every single character in the roster, I feel like 3 to 4 months is a perfectly reasonable amount of time to wait. In fact, I don't know. I feel like that's actually perfect. I don't think that's too long or too short of a time. Too short, obviously, so the developers have enough time to get it done, and not too long, so we don't have to wait a long time. I don't know. It's all coming out within a year's time, so I feel like that's fine enough for the quality of the characters.
That's what I thought, because wasn't like Bayonetta and Cloud like super overpowered on Wii U?
Oh yeah.
From what I thought. So
yeah, they probably are being more careful with the balancing, and also we're getting modes too. Like it's not just characters; we're getting modes. Like, well, I'm assuming we're getting modes, but we're getting 22 minutes tomorrow. Spoiler alert! I think there's gonna be a mode announced tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time for just a single character. So.
Yeah. A couple other comments I noticed. Jared Parker saying he wants more Final Fantasy VII music in Vindigar. That'd be good. And, you know, since we are getting a Square pack this week, we assume that makes sense to get some more Square music. I definitely appreciate that. That'd be amazing. I guess I spoke on this earlier, but Science was saying if it isn't Geno, do you think that confirms him if he's not in Mii costume? I don't think it confirms him. I think it creates more confusion.
Right. I don't think there will be a second Square Enix character in this Fighters Pass.
But that doesn't mean Geno can't happen in the future.
Right. I'm just saying, for this Fighters Pass, I don't think they're going to have like two.
Unless Nintendo has bought rights to Geno and he's being considered more of a first-party character moving forward.
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting, and then all of a sudden Geno's like the final Fighters Pass character or something, and now it's like a Super Mario RPG remake or like Super Mario RPG 3D or something.
That'd be cool.
It'd be amazing, but that's kind of
I feel like it's more like
it's more wishful thinking than anything else.
Right. There's no actual reason to believe that, other than just we want it to happen.
Isn't that enough? You know, I mean, it may sound crazy, but just think about this for a second, guys. Nintendo's a company that makes games that people like. Like,
wow.
They make things that people want to buy, right? So, if there are people saying they want something, that usually means they would buy it. So, just hear me out for a second here. If everyone's screaming and crying for Geno and a new Super Mario RPG, do you think that maybe that can mean that Nintendo would be like, oh, maybe we should make a game with Geno and a Super Mario RPG and maybe have him in Smash Brothers. Maybe.
Yes.
Obviously,
as
that's
soon
not
as we get Mother 3 and a new F-Zero.
Yes, and a Wave Race, and a 3D Donkey Kong, and Half-Life 3, and Switch 4K. It's all gonna be in one direct, all of that together.
One direct.
Yeah, just you wait. It's gonna be the direct in the 13th month of the year. Janandaberry. That's the month.
On the 33rd day of the month.
Yep, after December. Just you wait. Let me see here. We got some more ads. Dean Star added me. I've just been seeing people complain comparing it to Wii U and how fast it came out. But when those characters were released, they were broken. Now they feel balanced to me. I'm not seeing complaints about Joker so far, right? That's one. And I don't think people were complaining too much about Piranha Plant either. So I do think they're balanced. And like I mentioned earlier, we're getting more content than just that, right? So Smash Ultimate seems to have a lot more post, release content than Smash for Wii U so far. So yeah, I think they're handling it a lot better, and I think they're going at a pretty good pace. Terry added me on the YouTube channel that uploads extended versions of video game music received a copyright strike for two more RPG songs by Nintendo. I heard about that, Terry. There's hope! Now we have two pieces of evidence. We want it, and there's music being copyrighted. So therefore, it's real and it's happening. I believe that was I don't remember the channel by heart, but it's like Brawl, like blah 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 something. They do a lot of like extended clips. I saw him respond to that information, and then from his perspective, it's just Nintendo kind of, getting on him for not doing any sort of for I guess going against like their copyright policy, right? So just to kind of briefly go over it, like for example, I'm using music, this Fire Emblem music for this podcast, right? And I'm not gonna get copyrighted at all because there's commentary, so it's falling within fair use. There's no issue there. And as much as I love those extended pieces of music, that's how I get a lot of music.
Right.
They technically kind of go against Nintendo's copyright policy because there's no commentary there. It's just a straight rip of their music. So that's kind of a problem. I guess you can maybe make the argument because it's like extended. There's some work being done there. I might be inclined to agree, but regardless, Nintendo is kind of like clamping down on some of those people who are putting out like those songs from them. So I'm not going to. I don't know what to make of it entirely. I do think it is interesting that they aren't clamping down on every Nintendo song that's on this channel, but it was just 2 Mario RPG songs. It's also possible that Square requested it from Nintendo. Like, you would think that because Square technically owns the rights to some RPG, they would have claimed it instead. But it's possible that there's some sort of, I don't know, some sort of communication between the two, and they're like, hey, get that for us, please. That, like, maybe. I don't think it necessarily means anything, but I do think it's interesting, and it's one little tick in hope for a Mario RPG sort of content in the future, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it. Or do you guys think that means anything?
No.
No.
Okay. Terry added me again. Yeah, they were Forest Mushroom and the enemy battle music. It is interesting. Oh look, Mall64 is there. What's up, man? So Terry said, I think one of the 2 last fires will be a female character, and I think the female character will be a Shantae. We did see the window. I think it's just the window, but there was that trailer that showed Shantae with the reverse Smash logo. So, maybe. We'll see. So, what do you guys think is happening tomorrow, though? So let's kind of focus on that. Like, do you expect any new modes to be announced? Anything worthy of noting? Guys, this is your chance, because tomorrow we're seeing it. If you want to get any sort of clout, here's your chance.
First off, what the heck does clout means? I see everybody using that.
I don't know.
It's been brought back into popularity.
It kind of means
Platoon.
it just kind of means like status, like status points, I guess, right? Maybe.
Yes.
Should we Urban Dictionary?
We're looking up it right now.
Clout. It means you are scum.
Influence or power, especially in politics or business.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I feel like I wasn't wrong.
No.
Anyways, I think we're gonna see Hero. They're gonna talk about his
I disagree.
stage. Nah, you can't disagree with this. You know, this is just. They're not talking about Banjo, that's for sure. But the stage. Is there gonna be any new mode? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
It's a 22-minute video. I think they sort of said it's gonna be kind of more like a let's play, so maybe it won't be as structured and as quick paced as the Joker one. So maybe it isn't necessarily more content, just kind of. It might not be more content, right? It just might be more drawn out content. I think I'd be a little disappointed if it's just him playing as the hero with the 4 different versions of him on the stage just talking about it, and that's all they talk about. But that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
It's definitely a possibility. I think for sure we're going to see the Mii costumes. Then I am anticipating another mode. That's what I'm going with. Maybe it won't be like a crazy mode. It might just be like trophy mode, like just like another, like we can actually see trophies now, or maybe like an encyclopedia of all the spirits. We can actually see descriptions for each spirit now, which would be actually really awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to see
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think there is a chance that we'll get home run contest. Yes.
It's like the least favorite of all the Smash modes for me.
Home
Where
run
the
contest.
targets?
We need break the targets.
That's what I want.
For the platforms.
But I'm predicting home run contest.
Right, because Nintendo always gives us that, even though it's like the worst one.
Well, it's just, the reason I'm predicting is because it was a part of a data mine.
Oh.
Yeah, along with it was before we knew about Stage Builder, but we saw a data mine for home run contest and Stage Builder. So we got Stage Builder. Think home run contest is next.
Yeah.
But I hope it
they
comes
do
with an
something
encyclopedia of the spirits. I hope we get both tomorrow,
Right.
but that's me being optimistic
that.
and asking for too much, putting too much pressure on Nintendo.
I hope if they bring back home run contest, it's actually like different, because otherwise, why was it on the base game?
I didn't like it in Wii U. I hope I'm okay with them mixing it up, but I also want that typical classical. Like maybe there's options in terms of how you can go about doing the home run contest. So
Didn't they have the classic one in Wii U? You just smacked the home run thing.
You know what? I'm getting confused with Target Break. Target Break was terrible in Smash for Wii U.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
It was. Yep.
Yeah, it was Angry Birds, and I did not like it. I do not like Angry Birds, so I did not like that. So hopefully they don't do that again. What if they just made a home run contest Angry Birds where you just chuck the bat, see what you hit and what it knocks down? No. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. Home run contest. We'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah, I just like if it's just normal home run contests. I'm just like, why is it not in the base game? Why is this? Why is this? Even if it's free DLC, why is it DLC? Why couldn't they get this done normally? It's not that big of a mode. You can pretty much just port it straight from the Wii U version, I'm sure. If it's the same. Now, if they do something different with it, then I'll be like, okay. But if it's the same thing, we'll just be like,
I think they're gonna do something different with it. It may not look that different, but it's gonna be different.
Right. I feel like it has to be different. Otherwise, what was the point of not just releasing it at the beginning? Because you can just rip that straight from the Wii U one.
I don't know. There's different characters. You got a program for that, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. We will see. Mono64 saying, can't wait to listen to your cast on Spotify. He did send me information on how to put this podcast on other platforms, so we're working on that. I know I said I would have it done by this week, but I was wrong. But soon it will happen. Hopefully I'll also get a muzzle for my dog. Just kidding. I don't want to get a muzzle, but I do wish I had a... Maybe I'll get a different microphone so I don't have to deal with as much noise from the outside world. We'll see. But Is there anything sort of any sort of predictions or things you want to say in terms of what we can see from the hero tomorrow, or are we ready to move on?
I'm excited. I know that a lot of people just want to see Banjo and other characters, but I am really excited. I love Dragon Quest. I always love Dragon Quest. I think that Dragon Quest have kept the traditional RPG alive, unlike Final Fantasy and other, franchises. I'm excited for this. I'm excited. I'm not so excited, I know the base skin we're gonna get for Hero is going to be the Dragon Quest XI version of them, which I have not played. I know it's an excellent game, but I have not played it. But the other ones, man.
I'm actually interested in Dragon Quest XI-S. Like, I really want it. So seeing the Hero is actually kind of hyped me up for it. And
I wish they include like a costume for like the Dragon Quest VII main protagonist in there. Just because he looks, if you saw Dragon Ball Super Broly, it looks just like Broly but dressed up as Link. Just like that. Looks awesome. I think
I know what you're talking about. I feel like I've definitely seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get some Mii costumes of that. At least.
Yeah, that would be
something, right?
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. So, I hope we get everything, but we'll get some things tomorrow. So, temper your expectations, but I think it's definitely gonna be interesting. All right, so I think we're ready to move on, though. We got other topics here. So, Astral Chain, guys. If you don't know about it, you should. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. People are finally getting their hands on it. People are playing it. And people are saying really, really nice things. Not just really, like, you know how typically when people do previews, they try to, like, kind of hold it back. Like, they try not to be too positive, too negative. People are being really positive about this, which suggests that this is going to be really good, right? Like it's so good that people can't, like, on their previews when they're supposed to hold back their opinion a little bit, they're still saying really, really nice things about this. It's looking like, there's a lot of platforming elements, there's a lot of exploration and movement, which is not something we see too, but movement, yes, but in terms of exploring a whole world and stuff, that doesn't really seem to be something that Platinum games usually works on, but for this game, they seem to be doing it. There's some investigation elements as well. You can change around how your character looks. The graphics look amazing, and then the combat is being described as something that's very accessible to people, but it has layers upon layers of different things you can do. Like, I've seen how you can chain enemies, and then you have like 5 different, like, what do you call them, legions? And they can change to different types of weapons, like a bow, a lance, and a sword, and a hammer or something. And they all have different abilities, and they all stack up and grow. So you have this, so you can fight alongside your legion, so you can, 2 people fighting at once, or 2 entities fighting at once, and you can do these chains and combos and move around, and there's a whole layering process to this. So there's a lot of different elements that seem to be coming together with this game. There seems to be a fair bit of polish, more than what you would expect for a new IP, maybe. And it's seeming to be really, really, really promising. So, how do you guys feel about Astral Chain so far?
Nice. It's just, I oh, nice thing. Okay, I said I wasn't, when I first saw this game being revealed on Nintendo Direct, when was that Nintendo Direct? When it was revealed?
February?
Yeah, exactly. So when I saw it there, I didn't know what to think about it. But when I saw the gameplay on E3, that's what sold me. But they have been releasing like small trailers and Japanese trailers of them, where you get to see like more extensive gameplay, and that has sold me even more into the game. To be honest with you, I think that this game it does include like a lot of variety. Of
that's the key right there. I think variety, because a lot of these games tend to seem like a lot of hack and slash games tend to get a little repetitive. This looks like it has a lot of variety. But continue your point. Just wanted to really highlight that one thing you said.
Yeah, and that's something. And I love Bayonetta, like the games. I really do. And yeah, you can unlock a lot of like different weapons and stuff like that, and you can do different combos and stuff. but I feel like this game has more. I never played Nier, but some people that have gotten their hands on it, I've heard that it's like in between Nier and in between Bayonetta. And I also heard that it's a pretty accessible game for those who are new to that type of genre. So I can't wait to like get my hands on. I actually have it pre-ordered too. So I can't wait until I actually get that game and just give it a shot, because with every trailer that has released, I get more and more excited. I actually like how when they use like the legions, and I mean it's a very silly feature, you know, because this game offers so much, but to me, like really caught my eye is how flexible the chains can be and how you can wrap the enemies around them with your legion. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that. It's really cool.
That is pretty cool. I don't know why that calls my attention so much, but I love that.
And I've seen you can actually like get multiple chains. Like you continue to kind of like wrap them and trap them.
Yep. And
stack it.
Yeah, man, it's just I can't wait for that game. Are you limited to those legions though, or will there be more?
So from what I saw, I heard that you just get those 5 different legions, so there's 5 different forms, I guess. But each one levels up and gains different abilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way they described in the treehouse was very vague, but they kind of just said that you could get a bunch of them. Like, there was a bunch of different ones you get. There's like it kind of sounded like the blades in Xenoblade, the way they were describing it, to be honest.
That's
the treehouse.
That's what I yeah, because when I saw the treehouse gameplay, I actually heard some people I heard when they said that, but I saw some people in the comment section saying, "Oh, so is this gonna be kind of like Astral Chain Pokemon, where you can actually obtain, you know, kind of like recruit legions to join your side?"
I do remember having
like
that impression at first, as well. But I'm just from what I've heard from recent hands-on, they got 5 different forms, and they kind of level up and grow as you play the game.
Right.
Even if it's
so, you still get more variety because their moves will adapt and grow, right? So there is still going to be changes with what you get.
Even if they just give you those 5 legions, I mean, there's just so many combinations and so many possibilities that you can do with those, you know, with your main character and those legions, that I wouldn't even care if those are the only ones that you get.
That'd be fine. I know there's that like dog form, there's the bow, and then there's like a sword one.
There's like a brawler one, I think.
Yeah.
And brawler one, so that must be all 5. But I think the game looks really good. It's honestly quickly becoming my most anticipated game of the entire year.
Oh man,
Probably
this year
gonna be my game of the year.
Ridiculous. I think once we finish the Fire Emblem topic, we should talk about just kind of like our most hyped games of the year, because Astral Chain is looking really promising. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which we're gonna get into in a moment, is looking. I mean, I'm playing it, and the reviews are really good. I'll save it for the topic. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Guys, if there's any points you want to make about Astral Chain, please put it in the chat now, because, you know, I want to talk about Astral Chain a little bit, but then we're going to get to Fire Emblem and what we sort of feel about it. But, there's just a lot of really good games coming.
Oh my god, tell me about it. I feel overwhelmed.
I mean, whatever, let's just talk about...
That's a good feeling, though.
Yeah. I guess we could just talk about games we're hyped for now, like Fire Emblem 3 Houses I have now. Right, I'm still playing through Mario Maker, but I've put in a lot of time into that already, right? And then Astral Chain's coming out at the end of next month, right? And then Link's Awakening's coming out in September, and then Luigi's Mansion 3 in October, and then Pokemon Sword and Shield in November, and that's it. But December might have something, you don't ever know. There could be another Nintendo Direct, and then of course there's a whole bunch of third-party stuff sprinkled all throughout. I'm personally like really excited for Dragon Quest XI's, which is going to be like the definitive version with a whole bunch of extra content on the Switch, right? I'm really excited for the Panzer Dragoon remake. It looks gorgeous, and I'm also really excited for the Witcher 3 port, because that's seems like it's going to be like the most extensive, well done port for Switch ever. So like those games on top of everything else I mentioned, I'm real just like, oh, that's a lot. And we don't know about December. There may be nothing. That's possible, but I'm kind of riding with there will be something because in 2017 December we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when we didn't need it. And then in last year for 2018 we got Smash Ultimate. So there is a small trend suggesting that Nintendo will have a December game. They still have games in November, big games in November, so I'm still thinking there will be something in December, especially when you take into consideration that Nintendo doesn't directly make Pokemon, so to me that suggests that they may have something themselves for the holiday season, right? Like it would be weird if their last big game for the year was Luigi's Mansion 3, right? Like I just think,
yeah,
I mean it might be, but I feel like there's a good chance there's something else.
I don't see anything big happening in December.
It's gonna be Breath of the Wild. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Maybe like a year and a half from now. But I'm thinking maybe like a Pikmin 3 port, or I suggested Prime Trilogy, but I'm gonna say that's probably next year. Pikmin 3 port is like my bet for December.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be like a port. I don't think it's gonna be anything huge. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a brand new game.
Maybe.
Nah.
I feel like they would have already showed that off.
Yeah, they would have announced it because they would want people to know this is coming.
Yeah, I think what it has to be is like a port, because we have seen ports announced within a month or two before release, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's something I can see happening. But if it is like there's no way it's like a Super Mario Odyssey 2 or a Metroid. Like it's got to be something that's like a port. There needs to be a longer hype cycle than like a couple months, and that I would think the announcement would be like an October direct or a September direct.
Right.
But in terms of Astral Chain, is there anything else you guys want to sort of bring up?
I feel that this is a franchise that obviously this is developed by a third party, but we can say this is a Nintendo property. So
it's published. Published by Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
just
it's
before you go on, I just want to say if there was a game coming out exclusively for Sony or Microsoft, and it was just published but not developed in house, people were like, oh, that's a Sony exclusive, Xbox exclusive. I think it's weird how like with Nintendo, if they publish it, oh no, that's just a third party game. No, Nintendo's publishing it. It's Nintendo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Actually, it's crazy that this was way back then, like 2 years ago. Before the Switch came out. You guys remember that January presentation that Nintendo had on Nintendo Switch where they talk about the prize and all that, and they announced Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's crazy to me how at the time there were some people actually pointing out Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as if it was a third-party game.
There are still people doing that.
Why do you guys? Why? I don't get it.
Like literally, I made a Smash video like a couple weeks ago saying, oh, if there's gonna be one first-party character we see from Nintendo, it'd be Rex and Power from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I guarantee you there are a couple of comments saying, oh, but that's a third-party character. No, it's not.
That's not a third-party character.
Yeah. No. Monolith's owned by Nintendo.
Owned by Nintendo. Wholly owned by Nintendo. I think some of the confusion comes from the fact that Monolith used to not be wholly owned by Nintendo. That's part of the problem. But even then, the games that Monolith made for Nintendo, like on the GameCube, like Baten Kaitos, they were published by Nintendo. So, it's kind of like, even, like they weren't entirely owned back then, but they still were, the games they made were just for Nintendo.
Because they were mostly owned by Bandai Namco.
At the time,
and Nintendo, they own some shares of that, but, it got to the point where Bandai Namco actually sold it completely to Nintendo, and now they're Nintendo, first party studio. So no, it's not a third party game. So Astral Chain is a first party game by Nintendo. It's not developed by Nintendo. However, it is Nintendo paid for the game to be done. So
I would call it second party, but that's not really like an official term. So it's kind of
right. Second party technically doesn't even exist. Like
it doesn't really exist, but it's more like a a slang word.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm happy that we're seeing new franchises. People, people always ask for new franchises. The other day, I had a Twitter argument between Mike Matei from AVGN, where he was saying, I would not release that Switch Lite. I would just make new franchises. You got Astral Chain right here. You got many other franchises Nintendo is working on now. So it's great to see new games like these, and I hope that people actually do buy them, because that will guarantee maybe a sequel or maybe even new franchises developed by the same studio.
I really, really do hope so. So I hope it sells well, and I'm going to use this as a segue into the next topic, because there's another game that I was hoping was going to sell really well, but I was concerned for that, and that is Fire Emblem Three Houses. But my concerns, as it seems, were unwarranted, because the game is like impossible to get. So during the weekend, I went to 2 different Walmarts and there was no Fire Emblem Three Houses. I came back home. I stopped by Walmart here. Walmart's selling them for the game for $50 retail, by the way, which is why I've been going to Walmart's to get them, because I can save $10. Right. Wasn't at that Walmart today, so I went to the GameStop. Wasn't there either, so I downloaded the game digitally. So I checked 4 stores, not there. 4. Okay? I had to download it, which is, I guess, fine. I'm more disappointed that I couldn't save $10. But regardless, the game's been hard to reach. It's like the fastest selling Fire Emblem game, at least in the UK. It's doing really, really, really well from what I've seen and heard. I think it's I think partially because of the waifus, but I think just because the game's getting really, really good reviews, people are speaking really well of it. It's gotten a lot of support on the media, and good game.
It was very well marketed.
Yes. Yeah. Nintendo definitely pushed it, and maybe they didn't put out too many copies, but it seems that the game's at least exceeding Nintendo's expectations.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that you couldn't find it, because my physical copy right here, I just literally ordered it from the store on their website, so to pick up at store. I don't have any issues.
Well, you had it.
First store I checked.
You had it reserved for you.
Well, I had it reserved that day, so I didn't have a pre-order. On the day of release, I went.
I didn't try to pick up the game on Friday. No, I did go to a couple stores on Friday. I couldn't find it.
I picked mine up at like 3 p.m. It wasn't even like in the morning or anything.
Well, it should be noted that I was in a college town during the weekend, right, including Friday. So, okay. College town, lots of kids, lots of gamers. So it's probably a little harder to find it there, right, as opposed to a normal city. But still, I came back on Monday. I went to 2 different stores. Didn't have it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, luckily, my buddy Dean, who was in the comment section of this podcast,
I saw.
He had my back on it, and I wanted the collector's edition so bad, and he told me I'll have Hawk, like Eagle Eyes, for you, like, and whenever it comes available, I'll let you know. I'm like, okay, no problem. He was looking for that collector's edition, and it became available out of nowhere. And he told me, "Yo, it's available." So I, purchased it right there. But I love it, dude. What a great game!
I'm surprised how good the music is.
The what?
Oh, yeah.
The music.
The music is great, dude. Like,
it's really honestly, it is kind of like bringing me more in. I only got started today, right? Like, so I'm not like that far in. I'm at the monastery right now. I haven't even technically officially picked my house yet, I think. But like, I'm in the part where you have to talk to all the students. But just like from what I've heard and seen so far, like the music is very good. Like, I'm really enjoying it. There is like this atmosphere to the game. Like I feel like I'm in this world already. I can feel myself getting drawn into it. And that's really exciting to me. Not many games do not draw me in, make me feel like I'm in an actual world to explore and enjoy it. This game's already starting to do that. So
it's the same thing. Like it's the same thing with the battle when you're battling. It's the same thing. The music is very engaging when you compare it to like previous titles like Fates and Awakening. Like Awakening had the usual like a mix of the main Fire Emblem theme,
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was great game, but at least that part didn't. And same thing with Fates, but this one is the music is just very engaging. It's like you dive in that world and you dive in the battle. Like I was playing it last night. I put my headphones on when I was playing it, on my Switch. So that's how good it is. And I have the CD, the music CD, because it comes with a collector's edition, and I'm gonna take it out specifically tomorrow just so I can just listen to the car while I'm driving, going to my job. So
nice. Yeah, I am 8 hours into the game, so I'm not like super far, but I've also made it to where I'm in the normal cycle, because I feel like the first 2 to almost 3 hours is very much it guiding you and teaching you up. Yeah, it's not really letting you do everything yet. I'm kind of getting the part where you're just you kind of gone through all the instruction section and you're just allowed to play the game. And I think it gets a lot better after that, because honestly, I was getting annoyed in the first like 2 to 3 hours because there was like 1 or 2 battles in the entire time, and it was just like a lot of text boxes and just it explaining things, and it felt very tedious. But after that, once you get into the flow and you learn what you have to do, it doesn't take as long as the first time you do it. So it's much more fun.
Yeah, I'm 4 hours into the game, and there's still sometimes some explanations that happen, even after 4 hours of playing the game. So I get what you're saying, and it felt a little tedious at first, but I said, it's a Fire Emblem game. I know it's gonna get good, so let's just go through this, and let's just do what we have to do. But the reason why they do that, I feel, is because there's gonna be a lot of people where they're gonna be playing it for the first time. But it's just kind of a bummer that we have to go through it. I get what you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the biggest Fire Emblem fan. I've only played like half of Awakening, so I kind of needed some of this stuff and a refresher. It was just, I think, the pacing of it. I think you needed a few more battles thrown in there, so you're not, because it was just like hour and a half of straight instructions and going through the monastery and stuff like that, where I feel like if they had thrown a battle or 2 in there more than they did, then it would have been more broken up, because I felt like I was just spending a long time in a row just on instructions and things.
Right.
I have a question for you guys. What settings are you playing the game at?
I'm playing it at normal, and I'm playing it classic.
Oh, yeah, same.
I'm playing it hard on classic.
Oh.
Playing it hard!
Because I'm an experienced Fire Emblem player, and
I heard
not actually
in a harder mode than hard.
Not for nothing, but you're gonna get later on in the game, dude. You're gonna get owned.
I hope so. I hope people drop dead. I hope someone I am in love with just dies in front of me.
Because normal mode can be pretty challenging as it is.
I heard from reviews that it was kind of easy, so I was like, yeah, no. I'm gonna make sure it's as hard as it can be.
The game's not... it's not... I feel like the other Fire Emblem games weren't that hard. It's hard if you refuse to let anybody die. So like if I have somebody die, I restart the battle or I rewind time. Like I do not let anybody die. Even if I'm on classic, even like on classic mode, you're supposed to like let them die and then move on and figure it out.
I almost lost Dimitri. I almost lost Dimitri in the prologue.
No, I do not like what people. No, I don't let them die. Like I just try to. It's kind of like a challenge. It's kind of like challenging myself You know, just to not let anybody die.
Can anyone die in the prologue? I kind of want to create a new file just to find out. Like, what happens if one of the leaders of the houses die?
If I imagine it's game over.
You just lose.
Yeah.
You just lose the battle.
Oh, okay, so there are certain characters that can't die no matter what.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know when it tells you when the battle starts and it tells you like what the defeat conditions are and what the win conditions are. So like if Byleth or Claude falls for me because I'm in the Golden Deer, then I'll lose.
So you would like
and I think at the
Dimitri.
beginning of that battle it just says like if people die you lose.
So you like Dimitri? Yeah,
I like
he's the leader
Dimitri.
of the Golden Deer, right?
No. Claude
No.
is the leader of the Golden Deer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dimitri's the leader of the Blue Lions.
Oh, okay, so I
And
actually...
Elgard is the Black Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it black when they're wearing red?
I don't know.
What's the name of Dimitri's?
Blue Lions.
See that? You see what I mean, though? Like, the colors are red, blue, and yellow. And
She wears a lot of black, but she also wears a lot of red.
It's just confusing. I'm not sure which house to pick yet.
I picked Golden Deer just because Claude was the most like entertaining of the three characters for me.
Okay. He does seem to be more cultured.
Yeah, he's less serious all the time.
Yeah, it just seems like he's seen more of the world, is what I mean by cultured, right? Because you could make the argument, oh, but the other two are cultured, they're all fancy and stuff. Yeah, I just mean like Claude's been around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to pick Edelgard because she seems like best girl material, but Dimitri seems to be like the strongest. At least based off the prologue, he seemed to hold his own, and I appreciate the he seems to be very straightforward, very sincere, like the kind of like the Jon Snow of the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Although he did say that he might have a darkness to him, so I wonder what that
Right.
is. Yeah. So
Oh,
We saw in the trailers.
oh,
you know?
well, the beginning
Oh.
trailer is kind of weird, man. Like that chick looks like an angel, but she's just like die, and you see her like holding this sword with blood on her face, and she's just like, oh mother. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
She's pretty insane.
Let us stab him right there.
Yeah, Mastermind. We're talking about Fire Emblem right now.
Ooh yeah.
This is not a spoiler, by the way. This is the beginning cutscene of the game that's been out in public for months.
What I was saying is that if you guys remember, like, let's say like the trailer for E3 or Fire Emblem Three Houses, you know, it seems like after the 5 years happen, like Dimitri becomes like a more darker character. You guys don't remember him wearing the eye patch with the long hair?
See, like I watched that trailer during E3 and then never again.
Oh, okay.
So, because I was already sold in the game and I didn't want like
I thought the eye patch.
story as much.
I just want to make it clear, like you're not talking about that old guy that the goddess Rhea fights, right?
No, it's the guy in the trailer. It's the guy in the trailer who has like, you know, the blonde, long hair, and it says, "Kill all of them." That's Dimitri.
Oh, well, I have to look that up, or I'll just play
Yeah.
the
There is,
game.
I know there's a time skip in the game sometime, but I'm not sure when.
Do you?
I
I
haven't gotten to
wonder,
that
are
part.
you still teaching after the time skip?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I assume not, but maybe. I have no idea what causes the time skip.
I
So-
just think that I think the whole dynamic of like interacting with the different characters in the monastery is kind of integral to the gameplay. So it would be weird if after a time
Right.
skip you're just doing fights.
Right, I
Yeah.
definitely think the monastery will still be explorable. I'm just not sure what
Yeah.
to extent or what's going to go on with that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man, but I'm really drawn to the game so far. I only did the prologue fight, but actually, how do you guys feel about the combat right now? Like where you guys are at?
How do I feel about how do we feel about the combat?
Yes, the combat.
It's Fire Emblem.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, you know, it's a good thing. It still feels like as I said, I'm only 4 hours into the game, so there's still sometimes that they're explaining things, you know. But I'm like, yeah, I know this. Okay, bye, and I just play, you know, because I played Fire Emblem since like the Game Boy Advance, and while the games are different, you know, the basics are still pretty much the same. So there's a couple of things though that are different from other Fire Emblem games though, like the Gambit attacks,
Right.
where you have like all like a group of like an army like running into other people and stuff like that. That's different. So
Is the weapon triangle still in the game? Because they never talk about it, and there's like way more weapons now.
No, they never did. But I feel like but there is a weapon triangle though.
Right.
People are saying that the triangle, the way we understood it before, is not in the game, but there is still like there are certain classes and weapons that are good against others, for example, but it's not like the traditional, what is it, like axe beats sword, or sword beats spear, spear beats axe. I don't remember the triangle, but
you never remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well,
I didn't play the 3DS ones. I only played the Game Boy ones.
Well, when you're in battle, you can like draw, you know, like your little square, and rather than pick one of your people, you know, just lock an enemy target, and I think it'll give you an idea of what you can fight him with in order to beat him faster, if I'm not mistaken. So give that a try, because I believe, I don't remember, like I said, I was just like, okay, let's just play Fire Emblem, because
I feel like it's not as big in this game, because I haven't noticed any weapons being like really weak against others or anything. Like I did, like in Awakening, you could tell like this weapon's not very good against this other weapon. But in this one, it just didn't feel that different. So like if it is there, I feel like it's not as big a deal.
Probably not. But another thing is that we haven't. Well, I don't know you, but at least I haven't encountered that many different classes. Like most of the battles I've had is with enemies that have like swords, spears. You know what I mean? I think there was one guy with magic. One enemy with magic, but everybody else has been pretty much the same.
You haven't run into any cavalry or any flying units.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it seems like there's just a lot more variety to the different enemy types and different things that are on the field. Like I said, I'm not that far into it yet, but I have noted that they've already explained that when you're like close to an ally, it's better to stay together. I like that there's like these different terrain bonuses, like, you know, hiding in the woods, like that offers you a strategic advantage. So those are all cool little things. I'm really interested in exploring the monastery now, because I do kind of want to get into getting to know the characters, so when they die, I'll be upset.
Oh my god. And the conversations you get to have with some of these characters are awesome.
I'll say that Manuela, like right from the get-go, is very risque.
Oh my.
She's very risque.
I've seen something on Twitter.
That's my favorite character. There was this covers. What was the name of the other professor? Like the one with the mustache?
Who remembers that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But there's one part where I was exploring the monastery, and I was like, my mouth was just kind of like wide open because of what he said. He was like, "Hey, are you familiar with the behavior of Manuela? This woman."
I've seen that.
You saw that when he said that woman. I let her borrow the book, and she returned it with with stains of unknown origin. I was like, what?
I was like, what does that mean?
I was like, what?
What's wrong with this person? She's some sort of like
she's kind
sex
of
addict. Is she a sex addict?
Hey, it's
it
okay.
Seems like it. Is it though?
She's thirsty.
I don't know.
She's very thirsty.
For everyone.
I saw something on Twitter, like a picture.
There's something wrong with someone's audio.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Brandon.
My audio?
Yeah, when you talk, there's like a shaking, rattling. I don't know if you want to unplug your microphone and put it back in. Okay, it's doing a like thing. Now, the people are hearing it in the chat, so hopefully that resolves.
Is that better?
No.
No.
Yeah, there's something weird. Ray, can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Probably
Yeah, it's kind of like a static type of sound.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, we can hear him. I can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just something wrong with your mic. Something happened to your microphone.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about that, so.
I don't know.
Are you trying to plug in, like, blowing it? Maybe there's dust in it?
I don't know.
No.
You're unplugging a microphone right now?
Yeah.
But we can still hear you.
Maybe it switched to my...
Yeah, I think it did.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Because you're like blowing on it. It's like, if he's blowing on the plug of his microphone, but we can still hear him.
It should have switched back to the...
It's good now.
That's good now.
It automatically switched to my webcam microphone for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Evil.
There was one part. I'm pretty sure that Brandon also saw this. There was one part, and you can interpret this however you want, but there was one part. Remember the part where, like, you talk to Manuela and she's like, "Oh, I met this night, and he wanted to go, and before he went in my room, he said that it was all messy." And I'm not cleaning my room. Something like that. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
No, I was like, what is she talking about? Is she actually talking about her room? Because I don't know. There's a lot of subliminal messages in there.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game, dude. And I feel that if you played Fire Emblem before, I feel like this is still a new experience because you have the battle, that plays like a regular Fire Emblem game, but the monastery exploration, the fact that the way that you actually interact with other characters, like you can invite them to have lunch with you, you can go around, you can fish, you can do side quests, side missions for people. A lot of these things are just new integrations to Fire Emblem, to the Fire Emblem franchise. I think in Fire Emblem Echoes, you can explore dungeons, but it doesn't.
Right.
I don't think it lets you do side missions or anything like that I remember.
So I've seen there are bosses in this game.
Oh yeah, the large creatures and
that's
dinosaurs.
something new? Was that in previous Fire Emblem games?
It all depends it all depends. Well, mainly most of the final bosses in Fire Emblem games are dragons. So
okay,
this is new, but I don't remember you fighting monsters in the battlefield.
Okay, so according to Darcy, bosses taking up more than one square is new because they take up multiple squares in this game. I see them take up at least 4. I've also programmed Darcy in
They
48
can hit
hours.
multiple people.
You put
at
30.
Once.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've seen attacks where they hit multiple units at once. I was like, what? That's kind of overpowered.
So I haven't put that much time into the game yet, but I'm seeing Sabbath and Chris saying they haven't played Fire Emblem. I think you may want to check this game out, guys, because it's being reviewed very well. It's selling really well. This is a game that I think there's a lot of time and love put into, and this is a big jump for Fire Emblem. And just from what I've played already, I gotta say it is drawing me in. And I want to highlight that because I think that's really important for a game, especially a single player game. Those games need to draw you in. There's a lot of single player games I play and I'm just like, okay, this is kind of annoying. It feels like a chore. I'm not really feeling it. But with this game, with the music and the environment and the dialogue, I'm really like just find myself kind of like getting drawn into the world. And that's really exciting to me. And I mean, like you said, Ray, earlier, like it's Fire Emblem gameplay. Like if you've played Fire Emblem gameplay, it's solid gameplay. And the little things they've done to make it more interesting, like the way the battles transition. There's more people. There's the battalions. There's the bosses. There's the gambits. Like that all makes things interesting. But with the monastery, getting to know all these characters, well, actually, it's kind of like in previous Fire Emblem games, you just go battle to battle, right? And you kind of have these in between dialogues between battle to battle. With the monastery, you have a hub world where you can actually live, like when you watch an anime and there's a lot of animes that are just based off like the high school life, and there's these different characters interacting with each other, getting to know each other. You do that, and then you fight with them. So that is pretty cool how they have both that together, and that's how you train them. You have all these different things you could do. There's a lot of variety to the gameplay, like what you said with Astral Chain earlier. So I'm really excited to really get into this. The music, again, I want to say is really good. Like, it surprised me how good it is. It's really helping to build a certain level of atmosphere for this game that I wasn't necessarily anticipating. And that's...
I think the voice acting is also really good.
It is.
At least for the characters I use in the Golden Deer house. But the supports are really good in this game too. I like how they animate like full models when you're talking to people, because like in the older games sometimes it would just be like just drawings.
Yeah, like the picture.
Now
like
you get
the picture.
both.
Yeah. And they're very animated. You can like the expressions they're making in the pictures are you actually see them on their actual models, which wasn't really the case in the older, at least in Awakening. The models were just kind of like static, like really low detail models. Now they have like really unique, like really good facial expressions and really good animations.
They do.
The animation quality in this game is actually really good,
and like everything's voice acted too.
Yeah, there's a lot of voice acting.
This is kind of simple, but I kind of like that you can zoom in with the camera. Like there's like a close-up mode, so if you really just want to like just get a good look at the characters as they're talking,
yep,
you can do that.
Yeah.
Right. And you can zoom in on when you're in the battles too, if you want to see like the actual like 3D modeled environment.
How do you do that? Is that an option that they just tell you how to do later? Okay.
It's just plus.
Okay.
Plus and minus.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I just noticed that you can move around the camera, but I didn't know you can. I had heard you could do that, I just didn't know how.
You could do it, yeah. So you can see your 3D models.
Yeah.
But I don't like playing like that. But
I don't usually play like that, but it's kind of cool sometimes just to do it and look.
yeah. Hey, I want to ask you something, Brandon. Now, I know Andres hasn't gotten there, but when you're teaching, I know this may be a silly question or whatever, but when you're teaching and the motivation of the students actually goes down, does that mean that you're not a good teacher? Because I feel like sometimes I'm teaching them about like a certain ability or whatever it is, and I see that they're like excellent, I feel like I'm learning, but their motivation just goes down.
Right.
Is that just that they're
That's
getting
normal.
tired? Okay.
So essentially, the motivation system is just there so you can't infinitely increase their stats. You have to find ways like eating with them or going to choir practice or giving them gifts to raise their motivation. That way, when you do get to instructing, you can instruct them as much as possible. And if you get like a perfect instruct, you can praise them and then it will boost some of their motivation back up so that you can get more skill out of them. So essentially, it's just a meter so that when you're giving them, teaching them new skills, you can't just infinitely boost all their abilities.
Because there was a girl,
time.
there was a waifu there, and her motivation went all the way down. I was like, what have I done? What have I done? But yeah, good stuff, man. Good game. Good game, man. Like, to those of you who are not into Fire Emblem, you guys, this is the game that you need to. This is the game you need to play in order for.
I think it's very accessible because the story doesn't have anything to do with the other Fire Emblems, and the gameplay goes over everything. Like if you've never played a Fire Emblem game in your life, you could just walk up and it will teach you exactly what you need to do.
I want to end this podcast and play the game. So goodbye, guys.
I wish I complain about the how the game explains you so much how to play the actual game.
Right.
But I wish, that. But for those who are new, that's it's excellent. But for me, who has played like a lot of Fire Emblem games, I'm like, come on, guys, let's just hurry up. But I will say that I wish there were other games that explain things as thorough. I feel, like Fire Emblem Three Houses, for example, like Xenoblade. I wish I could have understood. You know what I'm saying? And they would have explained to me. I know you guys said that Thorna does a better job with explaining.
Yeah, but from what I've heard for Fire Emblem, they've done a much better job than that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think part of the thing is that the Xenoblade mechanics are different. Like, the Fire Emblem mechanics aren't, like, crazy different. Like, Xenoblade mechanics are not really like any other game you've ever played. So that it's a bit more of a challenge, if that makes any sense. Like, but like for Fire Emblem, there's nothing crazy about, oh, look, a unit. Okay, I'm gonna tell it to move 7 squares this way, and now where it's here, it's gonna do an attack, wait, or use an item. Like that's been done so many times, right? But with Xenoblade, it's each Xenoblade game uses a different engine, first off, right? And they're just lightly based off of each other. It's a lot harder to handle. That said, I agree that from what I've heard and from what I've played so far, the tutorial system in Fire Emblem was very clear, and it has not been annoying to me at all. And I'm coming into this game not having played Fire Emblem in years, so I like the balance so far.
Right. I see some people in the comment section saying that they prefer Awakening. I can't say, as far as my opinion about Three Houses versus Awakening, I'll say this. Fire Emblem Awakening is my favorite 3DS game, period. I'm including Super Mario 3D Land, I'm including A Link Between Worlds, I'm including every single game that I played in the 3DS. Fire Emblem Awakening is my favorite game, period, number one. But here's the thing. I get why people would say that, but at the same time, if you want to start with a Fire Emblem game, because Three Houses offers so much more than Awakening does, with the exploration of the monastery, you actually giving classes to your students, the interactions is much more deeper than Awakening. I would suggest people just to start with Three Houses instead, because you can start with Awakening. That's fine. You can do that. It's a great game. Still love it and would still play it. But the truth is, it's like if you go and play Awakening right now, and then you move to Three Houses, you'll still have a lot to learn, because Three Houses just adds so much more than Awakening did. And that's my thing.
Yeah, there was still a lot I needed to learn after playing through about halfway through Awakening, I think. I do think Awakening's story is much faster to get good. Like, this story is not bad so far, but I'm 8 hours in and I have no idea what the main plot of the game is, other than I'm teaching people at a school.
Yeah. I will say something. So far with what I played, and I've only played 4 hours, I like the characters from Awakening a little bit better. That's just, I'm not saying Three Houses has bad characters. I'm not saying that. But, you don't have Lucina. You know what I'm saying? You don't have Crumb. You don't have all those, you don't have Tharja. You don't have those characters that you saw in Awakening. So it's you got great characters in Three Houses so far from what I played, but I heard that things get even better and characters evolve and become better characters after the 5 years.
Which could prove to be more interesting, right? Because you kind of see these characters when they're younger, not as developed. You see them change throughout the story, which
exactly
could prove to be really interesting. This is kind of like a different direction, but what did you guys pick for yourselves? Like, I'm assuming you can pick like the girl, I think Sothis. She asked me, am I a mortal, a bandit, or a ghost? I told her I was immortal. Like, if you tell her you're a ghost, are you considered a ghost, or are you still a mortal
No,
human?
she just tells you not to lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked the female. So,
Okay.
And I just put the birthday as my own.
Me
actual
too.
Birthday anyway.
Yeah. Wyvern Moon. Yeah. Team Wyvern Moon.
I have no idea. I don't remember what
I will say this before you keep talking, Andres. And one thing that I would have liked is that, you know, previous games, since we are using an avatar character, I would have appreciated a little bit more customization. You know, like change the hair color and stuff like that, like what we saw with Fates and Awakening.
Yeah.
Since they're already introducing an avatar character, why not let us do that? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I have that I would complain about, but I still see it as a nitpick though, because it doesn't ruin my gameplay experience. But I imagine they didn't allow you to do that for
I've heard that there's
cutscenes
cutscenes in the future, yeah, and I wonder if there is maybe how he or she looks is relevant in the future. Maybe.
Right.
Yep.
Maybe.
Possible.
So there's another question that they ask you. Like, he asks your relation to the guy, I forget his name.
Geralt?
Geralt, the guy from the beginning. I said I was his child. I didn't, then for the record, like, when I started the game, that was not my impression at all, that they were father and son. I was just like, nope, they just look like, he looks like a little bit younger. Right?
I knew from the trailers.
I didn't
website.
I didn't know
they were father and son?
Yeah.
Oh, so they actually are father and son? You don't
Yeah.
pick, it just automatically that's what it is?
No, yeah. All the kind of questions like that, you can choose wrong answers, but it doesn't change anything.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know that. So they are father. They look nothing alike. I'm gonna assume that it's
they
his
mentioned
adopted
that
son.
they're like, you don't. They're like, other than appearances looking nothing alike. It's like I can tell from your personality that you're related.
Yeah, I picked the same answer. Like, I'm his child, and then they said, "Oh, okay, you're his child." I was like, "Really? Is he really his child?"
Yeah.
Like,
I was thinking that Geralt's gonna be like react like, "What are you talking about? You're not my kid." Yeah, I thought there was gonna be a weird reaction.
Now, those are questions that are related, like, to the actual story, but there are some questions that actually do affect, like, the type of interaction you have with the characters. Like, for example, there are characters that ask you a question, and depending how you answer, you know, the relationship between you and them can actually be affected by that.
Right.
Okay.
So
I have those as like hearts and little scribble sounds. Like, it makes note of how characters interact with each other. Like, oh, that's a point. That's a point. Oh, that's a negative point already.
Exactly. But the questions that you're talking about is just like Brandon said. That's just like part of the story, you know.
Okay.
So that doesn't change.
Okay. And I'm like, I don't know which house I want to pick, because I want to know what's going to happen to all of them. Right? Like, I'm worried. I know that they're going to just have to replay the game or something, but...
Right. I would just go with whichever house leader you like the best.
I'm not sure.
You know you like the Black Eagles.
I think
you
the
want to
girl
join.
is pretty, but I have to say that I'm not sure if I like her person. I don't know.
I just like Claude was like way more interesting to me than anybody else, and I was just like, yep, golden.
The only reason I like Dimitri is because he seems like he's the strongest, and I want someone who's strong.
I don't know if he's really. I didn't get that impression, to be honest.
Well, maybe he just coincidentally was the MVP in the prologue fight.
Right. I don't remember. I think I was the MVP in the prologue fight. So.
I didn't care about Claude at first, but as the closest the game was, you know, with the closer we got to the release date of the game and the more info we started getting, I got to see more of the character, and I thought he was pretty interesting. I still went with the Black Eagles though.
I had every intention to join the Blue Lions because blue's my favorite color, and then I was like, oh, what about this? Oh, the Claude, so cool.
When did you know that you were gonna go with the deer?
The first time they actually talked to you, I was like, oh,
Oh, really? From that point on, you're like, yeah, this is it.
When they asked me which one I wanted to be on, the one that doesn't actually decide, I chose the Golden Deer, and then I chose the game one.
Yeah, I went with the Blue Lions, I guess, when they asked me the question. But I was from what I heard, I knew that it wasn't my final. That wasn't gonna be like my final chance, because I knew I still needed to talk to all the students first. So I'm wondering if talking to the students is going to like sway my opinion. Like when I saw the cutscenes, I'm gonna be real with you guys. When I saw the cutscenes, I was thinking, all right, which group has the best girl that I want to make my character fall in love with at some point? Because I know that happens.
I literally don't care about.
Yeah, I don't know why I care, but I do.
I'm gonna be honest. I care too. So,
yeah. Can you fall in love with Manuela?
I made my character a girl, so I'd have to pick the best guy, and that for me that's just a little weird.
Well, you don't necessarily have to pick the best guy, though.
What?
You don't necessarily have to pick the best guy.
True.
You can still pick best girl.
That's right, I could.
Can you pick Manuela?
I actually have seen a scene that is very suggestive with Manuela. I saw a Twitter capture of it.
But are you sure it's not just her being
the door?
Okay, but is that her just being very, I've seen that. I'm just wondering if that's just an interaction with her where she's being, her
I don't know. I have no idea.
Seductive self, or is it? Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, according to Darcy, you can recruit the teachers.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, if there was
he's also saying that the locked door scene is not related to being in love with her.
I would not marry Manuela, but
no.
But I would certainly, if she had her own team, I would definitely join her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just for a little bit, and then I'll just go back to the Black Eagle.
Did Geralt die? I feel like Geralt probably dies.
Sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah, sounds like something that would happen. Especially because he's like, Can you recruit Geralt ever? I wonder.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to sort of bring up, guys, in the chat? If there's anything else you guys want us to cover, bring it up now. We're gonna bring this podcast to a close because I'm falling asleep and I want to still play Fire Emblem before I go to sleep.
Right.
Yes.
But anything else you guys want to bring up before we call it a night? It doesn't have to be about Fire Emblem, by the way. It can be about anything. But
Fire Emblem Three Houses. Buy it.
Game of the week.
Damn it. Buy it.
Brandon, did you play whatchamacallit? Not Doom, the Wolfenstein.
No, I didn't buy it. Because it came out the same day as Fire Emblem.
I heard it's not at all like the first one or the second one.
It is. It's just more open. The level is more open than that one. It apparently it's more like
Destiny.
No, it's similar, but it's also different because the co-op and stuff. It's not like so different that it's like this is not even Wolfenstein.
Is it true? Is it true that the game doesn't look as good as the last game, and the panic button didn't do
not true.
Good of a job?
I will say the game runs worse on every single platform than the original game because they're doing a lot more with this one, and the levels are more open. There needs to be more enemies. There's the co-op aspect, so that also affects things. So on every single platform, it runs worse than the original game. Like Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Every single one of them run worse than the original. So that is one thing I will say. But the resolution actually stays higher on the Switch than the original, so I'm wondering if they can patch that to change it. But I'm wondering if it's not strictly GPU related. So it might be like CPU related. In that case, resolution change wouldn't affect anything.
Okay.
So that's the only real big difference as far as like visual and graphics go. But it's $30, so I'm gonna pick it up for sure. It came out the same day as Fire Emblem, so I was like,
who are you gonna play with?
You said it's.
Who are you going to play with?
Wait, hold on. You said it's $30?
Yeah, it's $40 if you want to get the co-op pack that lets you play with somebody else who doesn't own the game. so you can play with another person who doesn't own it. But if you just want to play it solo, or somebody else who already owns the game wants to play with you, it's just $30.
What if I sent you $20? So you can get the co-op pack.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll talk about it. I don't want to do it now. Maybe next week, though. I don't know if you want when you want to get it. When do you want to get it?
Probably in August, before, like,
Okay.
after I've had time to beat Fire Emblem, or at least
Okay,
get close.
so a couple
but
weeks.
before Astral Chain.
Cool. So, I'm seeing Master saying maybe we get different music from different games on the Dragon Quest stage. Maybe. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. In 9 hours. Nope.
10 hours.
10 hours.
Oh,
Less than 10 hours. Yep, 10, not 10. Time. I can't speak
10
English.
hours.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to check out Ray from Nerdy Cabana or the Podcast Dojo. The Nerdy Cabana channel is linked in the description below. Make sure to check out Brandon from What About Nintendo. The link to his channel is also in the description below. If you're looking to get an Audible free trial, there's a link to that in the description below as well to get a free audiobook of your choosing. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we say a final farewell? I'm done. I'm just done. I can't do this. Farewell. Goodbye. I said good day.
I mean, on my channel, I have videos planned for this week. Well, I have a birthday stream planned for Wednesday.
That's right, your birthday's on Wednesday.
Yeah. And then Thursday is gonna be a video on
Starting
how well I think the Switch Lite is going to sell. And then on Friday, I'm gonna make a video talking about whether or not the graphics in Fire Emblem are disappointing. So that's
How dare
gonna
you
be
suggest anything about Fire Emblem was disappointing? I do agree that is a point of contention. It looks good, but there are some rough spots. Yeah, for Kenmi ask, can you yell yeet? No.
Maybe if you put a super chat, boy, y'all yeet.
That's the opposite of yelling. Yeet. There you go. Is anyone doing a live predictions tomorrow?
I might
Josh is asking.
I might do my live reactions to the event tomorrow.
Also, Super Chris sent you a birthday cake, Brandon.
Oh, thank you.
Make sure to check your mailbox. It's in the chat. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to stream it because I think maybe I'll just do like a live record. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna watch
I'm
it.
not sure if I'll be up that early, but when I watch it for the first time, I will record my reactions or stream my reactions. I'm just not sure if I'll do it because I don't even know if they're gonna drop the video or they're gonna stream it. I don't know what's happening with that. So, and it's so early. I'd have to get up like 6:30 or 7. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll just record my reaction, Mastermind. I think we will find out, but the release date it will be probably for Wednesday, and you'll find out next time on Andres Ball Z. Okay, so all right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you soon. Take care. Don't die. Live strong. Be well. Play Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Just do it.
Play. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.